In this episode, we built a factory for producing 1,500 steel pipes and 300 steel beams for our project. Yo, hello everyone! Welcome back to Prone to Play and Project Nuclear Mayhem in Satisfactory. In the last episode, we set up a production of 6,300 quick-wire per minute, which leaves us with only the sulfur and uranium necessary before we are able to build our 1,680 encased uranium cells per minute. But before we complete step 1, we just have to be a bit more patient and deal with the very basics first. So today we are going to set up a steel factory that takes each 2,340 iron ore and coal as input, converts it into over 3,500 steel ingots, and will have 300 steel beams per minute, 255 of them necessary for further production of beacons and plutonium fuel rods later, as well as 1,500 steel pipes, 1,200 of them also necessary for beacons as well as for status later, as a targeted output per minute. For that, we are going to go right over here, between the crater lakes and the rocky desert biome, and tap into 3 pure coal and iron nodes respectively. Now you might immediately have noticed that the excess output this time is way higher than in the factories before, and that is because, unlike in our rubber residence, I actually changed my mind a bit. Rather than going for close to the exact demand, there's actually no harm to set up for all available access that the nodes can provide resources for. After all, we have always the possibility to tune down the output and switch off some of the machines, but scaling up, on the other hand, is always a way more effort. So that is why we are building rather too big than the other way around. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's actually take a look at the plan. Since the iron ore is all the way down here, but the coal is all the way up there, the idea for today's factory is to actually build a kind of tilted support structure into the cliff, using the frame rams and inverted frame rames like so. On the sides of the structure, we transport the iron upwards for immediate smelting into ingots, and the coal downwards to meet the iron ingots eventually in foundries and make steel ingots out of it. These just have to be converted into either steel beams or steel pipes. And while the setup itself isn't too complex, we will actually have to build a large number of machines today. Again. So, enough talking, let's make it work. So for the start, let me finish the frame structure really quick and set up a first platform somewhere around here, where the smelting of the iron ore into ingots will take place. Alright, starting to look like something. This is just a 15x12 foundation platform consisting of only frame, floors and catwalks for now. And on this platform we will place a total of 78 smelters. For this I once again prepared a little blueprint so that we can set up 10 smelters at once. And we will split it into 3 lines of 26 smelters, so each line will convert a perfect amount of 780 ore into 780 ingots per minute, which makes the logistics very smooth. But first, let's quickly put down 3 miner houses for the iron nodes, just to have it out of the way. And 1. And 2. And 3. Alright, now we have always an eye on where the iron ore will come from. So, let's continue with the iron smelters. And in order to fit this on this platform, I actually will start from this side. So the iron ore will eventually come up here and then will be provided onto 3 lines respectively. So, let's start with the first 10 iron smelters, and actually let's prepare a little hotkey bar, or a hotkey for now, so that we can make this a little bit smoother. Always a good idea to work from a lookout tower, because you have a better overview, and this should be the position for the first 10 smelters. Let's just put it there, and if we have to correct something, we can simply delete the whole blueprint later. Next up, let's actually do another lookout tower and place the second set somewhere around here. Is this correct? No. But this one should be the position. It's in line with the first one. And actually it seems like I miscounted a little bit on the on the necessary space. But let's see if this fits, if we need a third one right over here. And here we actually don't need a lookout tower, we can simply work from up here. So let's see, let's match it with the gap over here first. It seems like this one actually has to go completely on the edge around here to have it completely even. But this also means that we should extend the platform over here in order to have walkways all around the place. Let's actually see how this looks. I think this is good, and I will extend the platform over here. So this one then will be actually 16 times 12. Alright, 60 already in place. And in order to fit it perfectly here in the edge, rather than setting up a last set of 10 each time and then having to delete the half, I will adjust this blueprint a little bit and delete the last 4 ones over here, so that we just place the necessary remaining 6 on each line. So hold please. Yeah, adjusting the blueprint was actually the better idea rather than placing too many and then having to delete half of it. So, is this the right direction? This is looking good. 6, 6, and 6. Whoops. Let's get rid of this really quick. Alright. 78 smelters in place already. Now, I still have to connect the sections that are not connected between the blueprints yet, but this will take only a few minutes, so let me handle this really quick and then I come back to you. Now that's a nice sight of 78 smelters completely finished, with all the logistics power lines connected and the power poles at the very end you can see there, all connected, so that we have a power grid of currently 312 megawatts. And this completes the first level. I made some gaps here to make it look more rough, more industrial. Also set the walkway here on the edge apart from the industrial catwalk where the machines sit on. And not only can we run around on this one, we can also cross in between the machine lines over here. And also give ourselves a little bit of an overview by simply climbing this ladder and then having an upper level walkway all around the place, so that we can supervise all the production from up here. Now we take the next step, which is setting up some foundries where we convert the iron ingots that are produced over here with the coal from up above. And what could be handier than yet another blueprint? But first I once again have to set up another platform for the foundries. And I think I will start over here. By the way, this one is a little bit shifted up with the frame ramps, because I started from up above where the coal will come down from. And then I realized I will meet this cliff and this rock over here. So I shifted the construction pillars a little bit to the side in order to meet the floor. So this is why this is shifted here a little bit, but I think we can manage to look it very nice still in the very end. So this is the height that I settled on for the second level. So let me complete this really quick and then we can work on the foundries for the steel ingots. Okay, second level platform is done as well. And we're actually a little bit more limited with the available space right now, so we have to squish the factory lines a bit more together. So likely no walkways in between this time, but no problem, we can still install them above the machines. And of course, I stocked up parts again at the central storage. We will definitely need another storage center around here in the future, so that I don't have to run around all the time. But for now, let's build 60 foundries. And we will do 6 lines of 10 again, similar to the 6 lines of the smelters, where 2 lines of steel ingots will be dedicated to steel beams further, while the rest will be converted into pipes. And what could be more convenient for this than another blueprint in order to set down 6 foundries at once. The 2 input lines are above each other in the center and feeding 2 lines of foundries again, One line will bring the coal and one the iron ingots. So let's begin. And let's start from around here and see how much space we can afford. In the end, rather be safe than sorry, a little bit more tight together. And if we have space left available, we can always adjust these. So this is the first line. And let's see how it looks like if we put them all right next to each other. Here we still have a little bit of space left, but just barely. So I think we will leave it this way and maybe delete one of the last lines over there or make a walkway all around, which is still missing. Because I think, yeah, we can't really afford to make them placed a little bit broader. So let's go like this. And then we just add another line of foundries up here. Let's actually start from the other side so we can see what we are doing. And another one. And the last one again, we could just place another blueprint and make this a little bit smaller, but I think we actually... By the way, this is too close on this side here. Let's see. Yeah, I think... Oh, I placed this by accident a little bit too far forward. So let me clean up really quick again. Let's see if the last foundry fits now. Yes, looking a bit better, just barely. So no merging here necessary anyways. We will simply lift these merge lines up above and see how to further proceed with them. But this is the first two lines placed for the steel ingots that are dedicated for the steel beams. And now we add another 40 or 39. I have to do the math again at the end. How many foundries are really required? I think it's 58.5, so the last one a little bit underclocked. And the last one. Damn, this goes so fast with blueprints. Perfect. Now we place the last one manually. And this should be all the foundries that we need. 59 in place. Apart from the ones that we placed one by one, everything has its recipe, of course. Some power lines, as you can see here. Logistics that I just have to connect in between the blueprints now. But everything else regarding the foundries is now taken care of as well. So, let me do the finishing touch here really quick with the conveyor belts, power lines and the last individual ones, and then I come back to you for the next step. That's all done for the foundries. And I added some more walkways all around the place again as well. Also, the logistics for the iron ore as well as for the coal is now added. And to hide the belts as much as possible, they are actually running through the hollow frame rams and then either into the smelters from below or via conveyor lifts into the foundries from above. Next up, we have to add a third layer for the final constructors, and after that we worry about the train stations, because this place needs to have a rather big train station hub. The reason is the output going to various different places for further production. I think we will need at least 4 train stations, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Third platform first. And now our factory looks like this. We actually had to extend the platform 1 foundation further in front of the frame rams, which is now necessary for 2 reasons. First, because of the conveyor belts for the coal inside of the frame rams, I cannot place walkways there anymore. And second, we are getting too close to the cliff as well. Seems like we will have to place only 60 constructors for the steel pipes here and then do a 4th level for the remaining 20 constructors anyways that will make the steel beams. So let's get the first constructors in place. And for that, I simply reused the blueprint for our silica constructors and changed the recipe to steel pipes. So let's place some constructors. And on this side we actually have a little bit of space to spare, because we only need to place 10 constructors in a line. And for the last one, again, we have another half blueprint with 4 constructors. So that we once again have 10 per line. And now we just repeat this on the other side. 1, 2, change, and 3. Alright, 40 constructors for our steel pipes. And once again I have to finalize everything regarding connecting power lines, conveyor belts, and placing some walkways. Okay, walkways, power lines and everything for the 40 constructors is now complete. And I also tried out another type of walkway here, because I just can't figure out the centering of the walkways with the way the blueprints are centered. It was either off to the right or left always, but with this we also have everything in sight. And also it came up my mind that at some point I just brain farted, because these 40 constructors do not add up to 1500 pipes at all. These are simply converting 1200 steel ingots into 800 pipes per minute. I don't know what happened in my head, but we have to almost double this up ASAP. So, I already started a little bit, and let me pull another foundation of frames and catwalks right above here and place our second group of pipe constructors on it. Fixed. Damn, starting to look wild. With this, we now have 80 constructors dedicated to steel pipes, and while this is definitely a few too much, we will see later how the final build will turn out and how many we actually have to cut again. The final number will be something between 35 and 38. Now, there's only the steel beam construction floor remaining, and according to some testing, this should barely fit on top. Alright, with that, all necessary machines for this production site are in place, and the logistics, as well as the power supply, is already taken care of as well. Now there's one more thing that we should do really quick, and that is to get rid of some foliage up here. So let's detonate some nobelisks that I already spread out. See if we, whoops. Let's see if we missed anything, but this is looking way better. This doesn't bother me too much, as long as the conveyor belts are clear now. Alright. All that's left to do here now is to set up a cargo hub via multiple trade stations, for example over there. But for now we will ignore this, because I first want to check out if everything goes according to production plan. And then we worry about the output distribution. Maybe we even wait until the next factories are built as well, and we create the train logistics network for supply and demand overall. Have not decided yet. And I did one last check and noticed that the glass walkway is already quite annoying if there's maintenance required, which is why I also did not implement much further cosmetics to this place. Let's start up the factory now. And in order to do so, I gladly took an advice from one of your comments. I think it was Chris who also helped out during our last stream, and implemented priority power switches instead of normal ones. Because although I do not intend to prioritize the factories on this network, since everything has to run steadily anyways, we will gain the option to flip any power switch from anywhere. So instead of prioritizing, we will use this as remote switches, as well as organizing all the switches to the different factories. For example, for this place I used the term NM for Nuclear Mayhem for the project, so I know this belongs to the project network, then steel to assign this B grid to the steel factory, and then the exact production purpose of that grid. The more we build and more complex our network will become over time, the more this will help us to keep things organized. So thanks very much again for this advice, and you know, as always, when something catches your eye that I could improve on, let me know. I'm always very much appreciating your input. Okay, much talk again, let's get this thing going. Everything is turned off for now, and first let's provide everything with the basic resources. Let's start up the coal miners and the iron miners, and just in a little bit these 3 conveyor belts should be completely filled. And there it comes. Alright, looking good. Now let's check out the coal. Coal is getting provided properly as well, but not any further, since we have not started up the foundries yet. No, but this is wrong already. Why is there iron ore on this one? Okay, okay. Seems like I have some wrong connections underneath. I hooked up the wrong conveyor belts. God damn it. Let me fix this really quick. Okay, the output connection is now fixed, but I will have to clean up the foundries up above. At least mostly of them. Some are already cleaned out of the iron ore, but yeah. This little mistake will cost some effort to fix. Well, can't be helped. Let's go on. Miners are still active. Now let's actually go to the smelters and start these up in order to bring out the iron ingots. And I see only green lights for now, which is very, very nice. Let's take a look on the other side. And there's one connection missing. I was wondering why the output line on this one here is so empty. Okay, this is backing up already because the foundries are not active yet. But we have lots of... Wait. Is this one connected? No. There seems to be an issue here. Let's check. Why are you not running? Well, I don't know why that is, but seems like conveyor floor holes on the edges of these frames do not seem to work. So instead I just placed a conveyor lift, deleted some of the frames and then connected the belts like so. Alright. Steel ingots are getting provided. Now let's check the next level, the foundries. And of course the coal is already here. Some ingots, but unfortunately still some iron ore as well. So yeah, let's flip the switch. And the only solution other than deleting the lifts and or the logistics and building it up is changing the recipe to something that requires iron ore. And everything has backed up 5 iron ore or so. So I wait until this is running into the machine and then I change it back. And then this one is cleaning up or cleaned up and working as intended. But unfortunately, I have to do this with everything else. And yeah, I can't think of a better solution for this. If you have any idea on how to make this better, please let me know. But for now, this is the easiest solution that I could think of. Because yeah, setting up this logistics was actually quite a bit finicky. So yeah, if it's cleaned out, it's working as intended. On the other side, I did some cleaning as well already, so we should have some green lights here as well. Or do we? Yeah, the coal is just not reaching for now, but still have to clean out some foundries, so let me take care of this really quick. Okay, all the foundries are cleaned out now, or at least should be. but turned idle anyways because everything is backed up already. And also it's kind of dark here, I hope it's visible on the radio. But yeah, maybe have to implement some lightings here as well. Anyways, we are getting to the final stage, which is the constructor area. And of course we have another power priority switch, or priority power switch, damn, that's a tongue twister for me. And that is the last thing to do here, to switch these ones. And actually I have to rename this because I summed up the constructors for the pipes and the beams here in the end. So let's flip the switch and turn on the last constructors all at once. Looking good. Very nice. Here we have beams already. And of course, since there is no train station existing yet, I just connected some storage containers on the end of some lines so that we back up some steel beams as well as a number of steel pipes. But yeah, this will back up very soon. So we will see if this is working out. But everything now is looking very good. All lights are green, at least some of them. But this one was running. Okay, provision is just not that optimal. Has to manifold. And by the way, these three on this line here are disconnected from the power grid because we only have 58.5 foundries to be exact on the area below. So the last three on this line here cannot be provided with steel production or with steel ingots accordingly. So yeah, this is why this line is a little bit shorted, but this is excess anyways, and we will take care of the distribution of the output, as mentioned earlier, later anyways. But seems like everything is running as intended at last. Again, some mistakes. Kind of, yeah, a shame. Kind of ashamed that I did this big mistake at the start. But I decided to not cut this out because I really want to get to know your expertise and yeah, how I could solve this maybe a little bit better rather than changing the recipes back and forth. Maybe you have some advice for me so that I can improve once more. Alright. Let's get some distance to have a nice view on the running factory. Let me actually fly up here. This is basically my lookout spot most of the time. All the green lights, running conveyor belts, will stop in a second because of the autosave, but nevertheless, looking very good. And with that factory done, we have made a huge progress in our overall project. Because not only did we take care of this production requirement for the plutonium fuel rods and completed another big part of our tier 1 factories, we also prepared the input now for necessary productions later down the line, for example the crystal oscillators, the beacons and the stators. So yeah, very nice progression for today. And next up we will find a place to take care of the AI limiters, and for that we first will build a factory for copper sheet and then add another more than 6,000 quick wire. So yeah, this will be another big headache, but I am sure we can work something out. But that's gonna be it from my side for today. Thank you very much again for watching. And as always, feel free to drop feedback, to share your inputs, your advice. I'm always appreciating feedback and constructive criticism. Thank you very much again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.